Greetings. Well, some interesting hockey going on today. And right now the Vegas San Jose game is on as well. So I know if you're a Vegas fan, if you're a San Jose fan, you're probably not watching this. Yeah, San Jose fans might be. Um, anyways, it's an interesting tale today. You have a favorite on the road and a favorite on the road. A team that a lot of people, myself included, said Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup or bust. And Steven Stamkos, before this series, said Stanley Cup or bust. And with Winnipeg, a team that a lot of people, myself included, were picking to win the Stanley Cup before the season started. And both of them staring down the barrel of a potential first round exit. One of them gets off the mat, the other one, not so much. This is different. This Columbus team is different. This is not the series between them and the Capitals, and they showed it today. Now, if you're a Blue Jackets fan, you're likely not breathing too easily yet because this team has never won a round. So until they win that fourth game, you're not going to relax. But if you're a Tampa fan, well, let's just say that I saw that one video on Twitter of some guy burning a Tampa jersey after game one. If you want to burn a jersey, just send it to me and I'll tell you I burned it. I won't. Don't burn a jersey. It's just poor jersey handling. First period. I don't care whose name's on the back either. Don't burn a jersey. It's just stupid. First period. There's no scoring between these teams, but Columbus, statement. They outshot Tampa 12-3 in that first period. No power plays for Tampa, and that's your storyline today. Tampa Bay 5-on-5 handled by Columbus. Columbus gets one power play in that first period. They don't score on it. So they keep that game at 5-on-5. And 5-on-5, Tampa has not been able to keep up with Columbus. They're not getting the passes through the middle. They're not managing to get those shots from the middle of the ice often enough. And really until the third period of this game, Columbus in complete control where it matters. Second period, Duchesne breaks out early. He gets his second of the playoffs from Atkinson and Werenski, 1-0 Columbus. Not long after, on a power play, that's right, the power play, Columbus scores their second of the game. It's Bjorkstrand from Jones and Texier. And here we go, right? Texier on the board, that's his first assist in the playoffs. He has more points than Stamkos. And it's a power play goal for a team that had a crappy power play coming into the playoffs against a team that was supposed to have the greatest power play in the league, but we didn't get a chance to see it. Shots were 11-10 Tampa in that second period. Tampa had no power plays. Columbus scored on the only power play they had. And that's a big part of the story here too, is that Tampa's power play is not an issue. It's not an entity. And it reminded me of 2011. 2011 Game 7 between Tampa and Boston. Tampa had this amazing power play. They got 0 power plays in that game. All the conspiracy theories came out at the time that Gregory Campbell, being the son of Colin Campbell, who was working at the NHL head office at the time, the fix was in to make sure Tampa didn't get a power play, because if they had a power play, then they would have scored, and if they'd scored, they would have won. It was weird. I was like, really? And my statement at the time was, if you can't score 5-on-5, you probably shouldn't move on anyways. But anyhow, I digress. In the third period, they did score 5-on-5. It is Palat, one of the guys who didn't have a goal, from Chernak and Johnson. Chernak now has 3 assists in this series. Chernak is your highest scoring player for the Tampa Bay Lightning. That makes it 2-1, and Tampa really had control. And it felt like, okay, now Tampa's ready to get back into this. And there were some moments where it looked like they were pretty darn near going to tie. Bobrovsky coming way out to make saves. And I thought, the right opportunity here, Tampa could score on a rebound or, maybe put it wide intentionally, and he's way out of the net so you can bank it into the empty net. Nope. Atkinson comes down the ice and scores from Panarin and Harrington on a bad play by Sergachev. I've talked about how Jack Johnson's had a rough series for Pittsburgh. Mikhail Sergachev had a rough game today for Tampa. So Hedman sits out. That does not influence this. In fact, if anything, Hedman being out made it a closer game than the last one. Hedman was not 100%, shouldn't have been playing for games 1 and 2 either. This third period belonged to Tampa, but once Columbus got that third goal, it was done. It's the loudest I've ever heard a crowd in Columbus, rightfully so. They are on the precipice of doing something they've never done before. Win a series. They were outshot by Tampa in that third period 17-8, but neither team had a power play. So the game went very quickly. Not a lot of power plays given, 2 for Columbus, 0 for Tampa. And Vasilevsky saves 27 out of 30. He had a better game today than he did in games 1 and 2. But at the other end, Bobrovsky, 30 saves on 31 shots. Sergei Bobrovsky continues to be very, very solid for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And they're 1 win away. Barring an unforeseen collapse of magnificent proportions, they are 1 win away from moving on to the next round. And mathematically, there's very, very good chance they're moving on to the next round. I want to say like 95% chance that they move on to the next round. So Columbus comes out and they get the win over Tampa. On the other side of the board, Winnipeg, right? Winnipeg goes into St. Louis, and St. Louis has been very good at home the last, I want to say, 20 games of the season. They were bad at home that first half of the season as part of how they had the worst record in the league in January. But this game, pretty solid game for Winnipeg. Perron scores on the power play from Pietrangelo and Binnington. That's right, Jordan Binnington with an assist in this game. That was going to be the highlight, though, for Binnington. This was a rough game. Did not start out that way. St. Louis gets that goal in the first. Winnipeg did outshoot them 13-7. If you caught or if you catch the live stream, you'll see me joking around with my wife. Well, at least Winnipeg outshot them. And it kind of turns out that does matter. Winnipeg 0 for 1 on their power play. St. Louis scores on the only power play they had in that period. But it definitely did matter that Winnipeg had more shots. And they were not discouraged after that first period that they were down 1-0. Because in the second, finally they break through Binnington. Binnington, who's had an amazing run, finally felt like tonight maybe a team figured something out here. And maybe Winnipeg can build on this momentum and win a game 4. It's going to be tough. When your team's down 2-0, historically, it's more likely that a team's going to win that third game and make it a 2-1 series than it's going to become 3-0. At least I'm not 100% sure on that, but it seems like there aren't that many sweeps, and usually it's that third game where a team will get the win, and then the other team will win game 4. It's a 3-1 series lead, and then the math gets really difficult. Second period, Hayes scores from Perreault and Morrissey. That makes it 1-1. Laine then scores his third of the playoffs. Can we talk about how well Patrick Laine is all of a sudden playing? That goal was an absolute beauty. My biggest problem with Laine down the stretch and over this cold streak was he kept trying to make the same goal happen. The same goal from the same spot, sort of like what we associate Ovechkin with, and it just wasn't working. So what I'm liking with what's going on with Laine, and especially with this goal today, is it's from somewhere else. It's a different kind of shot. It's more of a finesse move, and this is what we wanted to see from Laine. This is a very good player who's had a very rough season outside of those 12 games where he had, 18 goals in those 12 games. The other 70 games of the season, he has been struggling to put the puck in the net. So he gets the goal from Trouba and Little, and it was an absolutely gorgeous pass to get him the puck. Just every part of that play was just fantastic. Then Connor scores on the power play from Wheeler and Laine. And Kyle Connor's development this year into a top 6, top 3 forward, arguably one of the best young forwards in the league, it cannot be overstated. So Wheeler with an assist there, and Laine with an assist as well. So Laine with 2 points in this game. Very solid game for him. 4 points in 3 games. This is good. The Winnipeg Jets outshot St. Louis in the second 12-6. Winnipeg goes 1 for 2 on the power play. St. Louis 0 for 1. Third period, I even had to double check the stats. The Jets got 4 shots. 4. And of the 4 shots, more than half of them found the back of the net. I can't see St. Louis going to Binnington. Going to Allen. I can't see the St. Louis Blues at this point saying, all right, we're going to throw in Jake Allen for Game 4. But if this kind of stat line is put up by Binnington again in Game 4, they could consider putting him in Game 5 because Jake Allen on the road had some very good stats this year towards the end of the year. Tarasenko scores from Dunn. That's a power play goal for Tarasenko, and it's the second power play goal of the game for St. Louis. If there's one thing that Winnipeg needs to buckle down on, it's their penalty kill. Tanev then scored from Kopp and Bufflin, and it was a very important goal because all the shots were at their end of the rink, and it felt like that was against the flow of the play. Bufflin then scores the assist to Kopp, but he shoots it in off the side of the mask on Binnington, and I'm not sure what you can do about that other than try to be more straight up so that he can't bank it off your mask into the net. But it was a nice goal by Bufflin, to be honest, and it really made a statement because that put them up 5-2. And at that point, that's breathing room. Now, the Jets clearly in these playoffs don't like breathing room much. So Steen gets a goal from Pietrangelo, and that made it 5-3. But again, when Winnipeg got a shot in this period, they made it count. Connor scores the second of the game, Scheifele with an assist on that one. There was a second assist that was taken away, whether that goes back on or not. It's inconsequential to the final result. Your final result is 6-3 for the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg is back in this series. Winnipeg can beat St. Louis. They proved that tonight. This was a statement game. This game here is what I kind of expected from Tampa. This is what these guys were supposed to do, and they didn't. So for Winnipeg right now, they have to feel pretty darn good about their standing. Tampa, much like Pittsburgh, yeah. Their seasons could be over as soon as a couple days from now. Shots in this period were 16-4 for St. Louis. Very frustrating period for St. Louis. I can understand why there will be some Blues fans that say, well, maybe we want to go to Jake Allen in the next game. I just can't see him doing it. Winnipeg 0 for 2 on the power play in that period. St. Louis 1 for 3. Hellebuck saves 26 out of 29 for the Winnipeg Jets, and Binnington saves 23 out of 29 for the St. Louis Blues. And again, it was a good game for Hellebuck. He did allow a couple in the third, but they did have 16 shots. So, a good game overall. And this is the Winnipeg Jets. This is the way they were supposed to be playing at home. Now they're going to have to do it in Game 4. It is not good enough to get a split in St. Louis. They have to win both. If they get a split, St. Louis can end it in 5, and there's a lot of pressure on Winnipeg with the whiteout. But the good news is, if you're a Jets fan, you will get another chance at the whiteout in Game 5. That will happen. Game 5 will occur in Winnipeg in a few days' time. And maybe, just maybe, they'll be coming home with a chance to go up 3-2. But there you go. For people following along at home right now, your two teams that are on the verge are Tampa and Pittsburgh, both of them behind 3-0. And the only other one that can be a sweep now would be Washington, Carolina. Other than that, every team has at least one win. And before the end of the night, we will know between San Jose and Vegas which one of those has 2 wins. But for now, you guys are all caught up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. Just tapping upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.